Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean lies a dark secret from the Empire of Japan, an unstoppable evil that has been entombed in the wreckage of a downed submarine for the last 60 years. A biological weapon that would make the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki look like child's play. It is up to Marine engineers Dirk Pitt Jr. and his sister Summer Pitt of the National Underwater and Marine Agency to venture off on this dangerous course to stop a madman from destroying the free world. Blackwind was published under G.P. Putnam's Sons on November 30th, 2004. Written by Clive Cussler and Dirk Cussler, this was the first collaboration between the father and son writers. At the time, there were hints that Clive Cussler was thinking about retiring from writing. In my personal opinion, I felt Blackwind was kind of an experiment to see if the Pitt children would carry on the legacy and have Dirk Pitt Sr. / Clive Cussler recede to the background. From 2002 to 2004, the world was hit with the SARS outbreak. This may or may not have influenced the Cusslers' decision to plot out their next book, exploring the idea of bioengineered deadly pathogens could one day be used against us by extremist groups. While the book does take some liberties with the history of the Imperial Japanese Army, it is true that the Japanese did develop biological weapons that were used and tested against Chinese prisoners during the Second Sino-Japanese War and World War II. In 1931, the Empire of Japan invaded Manchuria, China, and set up their covert biological and chemical research and development team. Originally, it was under the guise of epidemic prevention and water purification. However, under the leadership of Surgeon General Shiro Ishii, Army medical officers experimented with many infectious diseases, such as the bubonic plague, smallpox, typhoid, anthrax, and cholera. The Japanese would repeatedly drop pathogen bombs onto their prisoners from low-flying planes. Then vivisections were performed without the mercy of anesthesia, just to see how the infection would spread throughout the human body. The detachment of the notorious medical officers would be known as Unit 731. In the book, the commanding officers of the submarine aircraft carrier I-403 of the Imperial Japanese Navy are ordered to carry out a secret strike against the U.S. Using 3 Aichi M6A Siran floatplanes, they're ordered to attack the cities of Vancouver, Victoria, Seattle, and Tacoma using Unit 731 pathogen bombs, filled with the smallpox virus. Luckily, the U.S. Navy is tipped off by a local fisherman and destroys I-403, sealing the evil wind, or Makazi, deep in the depths below. Believe it or not, this plan of attack was actually proposed by the Imperial Japanese Navy in December 1944. Using the same military tactics discussed in the book, the original targets were going to be San Diego, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. The military operation was dubbed Cherry Blossoms at Night. The proposal, however, was shot down in March 1945 by Chief of General Staff Yoshijiro Umezu. Umezu said, and I quote, "If bacteriological warfare is conducted, it will grow from the dimension of war between Japan and America to an endless battle of humanity against bacteria. Japan will earn the derision of the world." End quote. Blackwind was an eerie experience for me because I decided to read it during the height of COVID-19. What was more eerie was that my wife's full name was mentioned in the book. I freaking kid you not. Write in the comments down below if you can guess what her name is. I actually enjoyed the brother-sister relationship between Dirk and Summer. They know how to play off each other's strengths and weaknesses and protect each other. It's one of those books that starts off slow but kicks into high gear once the clear and present danger is revealed. My favorite parts are when Dirk and Summer go down into a submersible to explore the second submarine, I-411, to retrieve more of the lost payloads before the North Koreans can. Their submersible gets snagged onto some wreckage, but like their father, they have to use their wits and the tools around them to break free. My second favorite part would have to be when Dirk Pitt Sr. gets to save the day by jumping in a research submersible called Badger and then proceeds to ram the Badger into one of the giant pontoons of the sea launch, filling it with water. This creates a partial list and causes instability on the launch pad. Mere seconds into the Zenit rocket's liftoff, it begins to oscillate and wobble out of control. Ultimately, because of this slight list, the bioweapon destabilizes and self-destructs. Really exciting stuff. My biggest gripe for Blackwind has to be the lack of Pitt and Giardino in the main storyline. Dirk and Summer take the spotlight away from the legacy characters instead of teaming up with them until the very end. Luckily, Clive Cussler and Dirk Cussler respect their characters enough not to emasculate them like some of the other writers in popular franchises. I'm looking at you, Disney and Lucasfilm. For that fact alone, I would rate this book an honorary library checkout. If you've already read Blackwind, what did you think of it? I definitely enjoyed it. I just wish there was more Pitt and Giardino added to the mix. As always, please subscribe for more book reviews and let me know in the comments below what would you like me to read next. And I will all see you on the next dive.
French Impressionism. Oh, I love this. Now, what is the problem with this book?
Nothing.
What is that doing on the table? I'm not eating anything in the vicinity of that book.
What is wrong with this book?
Emma!
George took it into the bathroom and been caught up.